Alright, now I'm back here with part 2 of my Blu-ray update that I have for you all. My overdue update. Uh, got 7 more to show you here, so let's go ahead and get started. The first one I have for you to show in this update is 127 hours. This was a blind buy. I wanted to see it like when it was in theaters, but it never came to the theater where I live, so I had to wait for it to come out on DVD, and it was one of those movies that I just went ahead and I just bought right when it came out before renting it because I knew I was going to like it, and I had really high expectations, and after watching this movie, it honestly completely exceeded my expectations. It was a very good movie. I'd give it about a 9 out of 10, honestly. Definitely one of the best movies of the year. And yeah, I think we pretty much all heard the story. It's it's a movie that's based on the true story about this guy who goes hiking without like telling anybody where he is, and he has an accident and he ends up getting trapped by this big boulder that falls on his arm, and it traps him there for like several days, and it's basically about like him having to survive, and eventually he takes these desperate measures just to get out. And yeah, it's a very disturbing movie, but it's a very good movie as well. I've watched it about 3 times since I've gotten it, and I definitely do highly recommend it if you haven't seen it already. So I'll show you what it looks like. It's a 2-disc edition. So there's that. Very good movie. This next one that I'm going to show you, I haven't actually watched yet, but I'll show it to you anyway. And it is The Proposition. I got it because it was cheap. It was like $10, and I thought it sounded pretty good. Unfortunately, though, I haven't had a chance to check it out yet, but I definitely will soon. I've seen all the other movies in this update except for this one and that other movie back in part 1. But if you've seen this movie, please let me know what you think of it, because I would really appreciate that. And then that's what it looks like. And this next one that I got to show you is Unstoppable with Denzel Washington. This is a movie about these two train workers, or engineers, whatever you want to call them. And what happens is there's this train that gets away from one of the workers, and it keeps going faster and faster, and there's really no way that they can stop it. It's just going faster and faster, like without anybody operating it. And it has several gallons of this dangerous fuel on board, and basically, you know, if it crashes into anything, it's going to explode, and it's going to do a lot of damage to the community. And so these two engineers are pretty much doing whatever they can to try to stop this train before something really bad happens. And it's a very action-packed movie, and it's a very good movie as well. It is a very typical Denzel Washington movie, so you know, which is a good thing. But I'm just saying, like, you know, Denzel Washington is good, but it's not anything we haven't seen from him before. So if you're expecting like to see a completely different movie from Denzel Washington, then this is definitely not the one to watch. But yeah, it's a very enjoyable movie. You know, like I said, it's a very typical Denzel Washington movie, but it is a very good one as well. So I would definitely recommend it if you're looking for a good action movie. And then there's the disc. I think it's a 2-disc edition. But very good movie. The next one that I got, this isn't really like this isn't really like my kind of movie or anything, but the next one that I got is Secretariat. I really didn't want to see this movie. Like, I saw it in the cinema and I didn't really want to see it, but like the person that I was with wanted to see something else that I didn't want to see, and so I went ahead and I just saw this movie instead. And I was very pleasantly surprised by this movie. I'll be honest, I'm not really a huge fan of horses. I never was, and I probably never will be. It's not that I don't like horses necessarily, it's just that, I'm just kind of scared of them. Like, in person, like not when I watch them on movies or anything, but just like when I get too close to one, I just get kind of paranoid just, because of their size and everything. So, yeah, I've never been a big fan of horses or horse movies, but I went ahead and I saw this anyway, and I was definitely very pleasantly surprised by it. Uh, it was definitely a lot better and a lot more emotional than I thought it was going to be. Uh, but, yeah, it's a true story about this horse named Secretariat that these people raised from a baby, and they train him to be this racehorse, and it's basically a movie about his life, like from when he was just a young horse to becoming this great champion in the racing. And yeah, like I said, it's pretty much just a movie about his life and really nothing more than that, but it's a very, very good movie. I definitely would recommend it, even though it's really not my thing, but it definitely was a lot better than I expected it to be. So, here we have the inside of the case. And the next one that I have to show you is Machete. This was a blind buy. Yeah, this movie, I really can't describe it very well. Please forgive me. This movie was really, really weird. Like, there were parts of it that I liked, but other parts of it I just didn't like. I mean, this was just really, really, like I said, it was really, really weird. Like, it's about this guy that's going out and getting revenge, and he kills all these people, and that's pretty much all it is throughout the whole entire movie, is just him killing people, and it's quite funny in parts, but it's just so over the top, and to be honest with you, that was never really my thing. But this movie was enjoyable in a lot of parts, but it definitely is one of those movies where you really have to be in the mood to enjoy it. But when you're in the mood, it's a really, really good movie. And like if you're bored or something, it's definitely a good movie to watch, for entertainment. But other than that, it's definitely not one to be taken seriously. But yeah, it was okay. I would recommend checking it out. And this is a 2-disc edition. And this next one I got was another blind buy as well, and it is Buried with Ryan Reynolds. This was a very, very good movie. I was very surprised by it. It's definitely one of those love or hate movies, it seems like, but pretty much it's about this guy that's buried alive in this coffin underground, and he's being held hostage by this terrorist who wants money from him, and he's provided with this cell phone down inside the coffin, and he pretty much what he has to do is he has to contact all these people to try to get the terrorist the money that he wants so that he'll let him go. And also at the same time, he's also contacting all these other people to try to find him and get him out of this coffin, before he runs out of air and everything. Very disturbing movie. If you're claustrophobic, I would definitely not recommend watching this. Me personally, like, I'm not claustrophobic, but even though I'm not claustrophobic, I was still very uncomfortable watching this. Definitely, you know, if you're claustrophobic, don't watch this movie, but uh, if you're not, then definitely see it because it is a very good movie, and I would highly recommend it. And there's that. So, yeah, this is a very good movie. And the last one that I got, this is actually my mom's, but I figured I might as well show it in this video. And it is Saw 7, or Saw 3D, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, as you all know, I'm a really big fan of the Saw series. You know, some of them I don't think are the greatest, of course, but overall I think it's a very good series. I really enjoyed number 6, and so therefore I had pretty high expectations for this one, and I can honestly tell you, I really did not enjoy this movie at all. It was extremely disappointing. You know, pretty much every other Saw fan that I've talked to has said the same exact thing, and you know, I couldn't agree more. This was just not good at all. I mean, I think honestly it probably has to be like I think number 5 has to be the worst, but this one is definitely down there right along with it. You know, probably right alongside it, actually, you know, tied for the worst spot. Yeah, that's how bad it was, really. Uh, Pretty much it's centered around this guy who basically, like, if you've never seen these movies, you're not going to know what I'm talking about, just so you know, but basically this guy claims that he was a victim of the Jigsaw killer and that he was put into one of his traps and everything when really he wasn't, and the whole entire thing is just a story that he made up so that, and he pretty much what happens is he made up this whole story about him being in one of the traps, and he wrote a book about it, and he got really famous, and he ended up making a lot of money off of it. And in order to punish him, Jigsaw, the killer, actually captures him and puts him in one of his traps to actually experience it for real, since he lied about it. And that's pretty much it, really. The traps in this movie were just terrible. You know, the one in the beginning with the 2 guys and the woman at the very beginning of the movie, I have to say, honestly, has to be one of the worst traps that I've ever seen in this movie. Or actually, it has to be the worst, I should say. But yeah, this was not a good movie. Honestly, I think that if you're going to watch the whole entire franchise, you might as well just skip this one because it's useless. I didn't like it. I would give it about maybe a 4 out of 10, and that's being generous. So, yeah, I was very disappointed. And, you know, this is coming from a really hardcore fan of this series. So, yeah, I definitely don't recommend this one. And, you know, like I said, this isn't even mine. You know, had it not been, like, for my mom getting it, like, for herself, this wouldn't even be in the house right now. I mean, I wouldn't even bother getting it. And I did try to watch it again after getting it, and I just didn't like it any better. You know, I liked it even less when I watched it the second time, so yeah, you can tell I'm pretty disappointed in this movie. It does have pretty cool packaging, though. I'll give it that. But yeah, this is a 2-disc edition, I think. So there's that one, and that is the last one in this update, and I really hope that you all enjoy this update. I hope I didn't try to rush through it or anything like that, but yeah, that's all I have to show you, and I'll see you again in the next update.